Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Long time no see for a lot of you, most likely. I'm really happy to be recording a video. It's a video that no one asked me to do, probably no one really wants me to do, but I wanted to do it, and so I'm doing it. It's a topic that's somewhat close to my heart because I really enjoy hatchets and axes. Maybe for some people that would be like a weird sentence, but I really enjoy them as tools. I like them aesthetically, and I like the history of them. So I've got a collection of them, a fair few of them, and I've had a lot of experience with them. And because of that, I feel like I've become fairly adept at spotting scam hatchets, or at least hatchets and axes that are being mismarketed. So there's actually one just right here on the screen that I want to jump right into, which is this HX Outdoors multifunctional splitting axe. Let me go ahead and just, can I move my camera? I can. That's good. That's grand. Because otherwise that would have been annoying. So, here we have the $117 Canadian splitting axe by HX Outdoors. As we all know, a very well-reputed company known for making such things as the... So, that's a good start. Now, I take exception immediately with multifunctional splitting axe. Off the hop, it looks like a military piece of kit. It looks like a tactical breaching tomahawk, or whatever people call those. And it looks like it has a lot of obvious issues that would prevent it from being any good at splitting anything. Surprisingly, it has 4.5 stars amongst 18 ratings, but I'm a little suspicious as to the reasons for that. I'm just going to skip over all that for a second. We have here a glowing review from a Amazon Vine member, so a little greedy grape growing on the Amazon Vine, who says they recently got this splitting axe for a 5-day forest expedition with their friends. The tool became an essential tool for all their camping and outdoor activities. That's like such generic marketing copy. This axe is not only well made, but incredibly versatile. That's where I disagree, the versatility, at least for most people's uses, making it perfect for a wide range of tasks. So this is like not necessarily a paid review. I can't guarantee that they didn't give them anything beyond a free product, but ostensibly all the benefit for this person was just that the product was free, which people will claim does not influence their opinions, but it obviously does, because who wouldn't like getting a free HX Outdoors tactical splitting tomahawk? So if it's not obvious to other people right away some of the flaws, that's okay. I want to talk about them. Gosh, am I in the way again? Kind of. So I have, just above my head here, a portion of this tomahawk zoomed in, right? And right away, there's an issue I see as far as its splitting capabilities, which is that they have a separate piece of metal, so it's not welded on there. That's not going to affect the splitting per se, or it could, but that's not what I'm really focusing on. It's just a note for quality. They have this hammer pole on the back that they've riveted on, or whatever. And anyone who has split wood knows that right angle, that little wedge of steel that's sticking out from the face of the hatchet tomahawk is going to catch in wood, especially because this blade has a very thin profile. You can tell here, you can see around the handle there that the blade is probably at its height like a few centimeters thick. It's not a very thick blade. Now, what that's great for is you want to attack a settler's wagon train and steal their furs and their gunpowder. Tomahawks are great for that. Throwing at stuff, maybe. It might snap, depends on how high quality the steel is. But what a thin head is definitely not good for is splitting. It's terrible for it. And really for a lot of things that woodsmen/women need. So I take immediate exception with the hammer pole. And it's just such an obvious, this is more so for tactical look than it is for any kind of utility. If they had kind of had the metal join the head at an angle so that there's a smooth glide to it, it could actually be an assistant in splitting, because that extra bit of material could help the wood separate. But at the same time, it's so far back on this, but I highly doubt you're going to get even close to that, to be honest, in your wood splitting, because of how terrible of a splitter this will be. Man, I'm in the way no matter where I am. Maybe if I just get a little smaller, is that possible? Sorry, first day with my new... I'm kind of like a tech boomer right now. Okay. So yeah, I take exceptions with that. Also, just like there's just so many issues. I don't even know where to start. There's a massive ass crowbar thing at the bottom, which I don't think I've ever had the need to pry something in the woods. I'm trying to think really hard on that. I don't think so. And so all that can really serve as is a sharp piece of metal on the back of your tool that could catch on you or just cause all manner of issues. It's completely useless. As well, the hatchet being made of one complete piece of steel, or as they call it, full tang, is a good thing in the sense of again, you're attacking the wagon train. You don't want your tomahawk to break before the European settlers are all gone, right? You're trying to get your furs or whatever the frick people did with tomahawks back in the day. But for camping and for bushcraft, a metal handle, even coated in, I'm guessing that's D10 or whatever, even with a handle made out of some shock-resistant material, which I don't think this is, by the way. Also, the handle exposes the metal of the core piece of the metal to your palm. You can see that it runs down the handle, and the handle doesn't wrap all the way around. Basically, what I'm getting to is shock. This is going to cause a lot of shock to go into your hands. It's just not a great thing for bushcrafting. It's not ideal, especially for $117. So don't buy something like this unless you're trying to intimidate someone, look tactical, or LARP, or maybe you're actually like a contractor or something, a private military company deployed in the Ukraine, volunteering on either side. Maybe you'll have a use for this. Since that's definitely not you, most likely, I highly doubt it. Now, so I kind of ragged on that. I just really dislike that they called that a splitting axe and that people were vouching for it because it's just such pull. It's not possible. It's not good. It wouldn't be good. Okay, I have like a military style tomahawk thing by CRKT, and yeah, I would never take it into the woods for utility for multiple reasons. It's just a terrible choice. Now, I could honestly rag on so many of the options here. These are just the results from searching Camp Hatchet on Amazon, okay? So the very first one you get is a sponsored one. I won't click on it. I won't waste time. That is a pile of hot garbage for any kind of woods task, any serious use. The tool is so small that you can't get any kind of swing force. You're more like just smacking things with it. Maybe it'd be useful for shaving feather sticks, stuff like that. Also, all that multi-tool crap in the handle is just going to be a disaster for your hands and your comfort. This is going to be a whole other story. This is I almost want to skip over it because it's so reasonable. This is fine, probably. It doesn't look good. I mean, yellow. I don't like yellow. It kind of looks like you're a construction worker. Maybe that's your vibe. But that's going to be a good choice, I bet. I have to look into it, but there's reasons I can tell that's likely a good choice. This is just, okay, the mossy oak thing, guys. That hatchet is a pile of hot garbage. It's terrible, dreadful, bad, evil, even. Don't waste your money on that. This is I think people use it for cleaning animals, maybe, Obviously the machete in there is for bushwhacking, and the hunting knife is for cleaning animals. I got a fire starter stick. This is bundled to, get your money. That looks decent. That's that same bundle, just not sponsored. S-Twings are very well reputed, American made. Similar problems with a shocky handle, because it's a metal handle wrapped in leather, but very high quality, and it's not going to break on you. But honestly, I just wanted to give a hearty shout out because this is such a I don't know, it's very revealing, or it's such a dig at the stupid $117 tomahawk I was just looking at, because this thing is just everything it's not and wishes it could be, and it's $20. This is genuinely, very likely, all you need if you're 90% of users and you don't go camping super often. So that's 20 Canadian dollars. So that's like $3 American or something. Not really, but it's cheap. And I've seen these everywhere. The best thing I can say for these, to vouch for these, is that it's the hatchet of the dad who's going out with his family and just needs to split some firewood, and it works. And then it goes back in the garage, and then it comes out next year, and it'll do that for 30 years until it's not required anymore. Super usable. Again, same issue. It's got a metal handle, so you're going to have more shock than if it's a wooden handle. But for 20 Canadian dollars, you get a hatchet head that, unfortunately, there we go. You can see the profile of it there. That has a proper profile for woodswork, meaning it narrows towards the chopping edge, as any hatchet should, but then the cheeks widen out, which gives you a natural splitting ability that is just completely missing from the tactical tomahawk. This is good. This is a good hatchet. I would vouch for it. I've used one. Someone brought one to a camp trip, and I just kind of used it. It wasn't super sharp, but it can take abuse and keep on swinging. And yeah, it's got a flat back for hammering in 10 pegs, which is super useful. So, Coughlin's Camp Axe, I can't recommend that enough. Their pack axe, that's a different story. Only $2 more, but I really have questions about this one. I haven't seen it. I haven't used it. I haven't seen someone use it in real life, but I just, right off the hop, I've got some questions, again, with the size of it and also the kind of unhefty head. So I would stick with the Camp Axe between these two instead of the pack one. But yeah, that's the Coughlin's. Again, I really do, like, if you're watching this and there's just, I kind of want a hatchet, that's the one to get, very likely. Now, if we're talking in a similar price range, sorry, to the, that was probably so loud. I apologize. To the Tactical Tomahawks, so that was, I think, $117, right? One should show up here, something. With a wooden handle. Yeah, the good companies aren't really showing up here. Like, I have never heard of Ned Foss. Lots of no-name rebranded Chinese things. There's this Cold Steel one. I guess I'll talk about this one really quick. Cold Steel is, there's nothing quite, like, terribly wrong with them, overall, except for a lot of things, which is, in this case, the axe head is not one piece. As you can see, there's a rivet there. There's really no need for that. As in, any decent quality manufacturer will just simply have a one solid piece of steel axe head. So any kind of a connection point or like fastener is a breaking point, and axes and hatchets especially go through so much strain. So this is important to consider. I also am curious about this one's like profile, because the Cold Steel Hudson's Bay hatchet I do have, or tomahawk, which is not this one. It's a tomahawk with a straight handle. Terrible for splitting. The axe, the cheeks, the axe profile is super thin and straight, so you can't split to save your life. Anyways, I just wanted to say that Cold Steel is really funny because they kind of charge like normal prices, but they consistently deliver poor quality. Actually, you'll also find a lot of times they use machines to fit the axe heads onto their tools, and then the machine pushes the axe head onto the handle so hard that it like shaves off parts of the handle. It's very normal with Cold Steel tools. They have some quality control issues. They're very much like eye candy, designed to capture the dollary dues of people who like stuff that looks cool, which I respect, but who maybe don't know necessarily how to get the best cool thing for their money. So that's kind of Cold Steel's like angle. I'm going to try going to page 2, even though I shouldn't have to get to a decent quality hatchet. I am a bit surprised it's taking this long to see a Fiskars or a Husqvarna or something of the like. Amazon really wants me to buy some tat. Some proper tat. I don't want to. I'm just going so fast now. That's okay. So, what I was trying to prove is that you can afford a wooden-handled hatchet of decent quality for less than the Tactical Tomahawk, definitely. And that's going to give you more hand comfort, more splitting, chopping ability, and also just more self-respect. You're going to look cooler, feel cooler, all that good stuff. In lieu of being able to find a proper wooden-handled hatchet in this moment, I also wanted to go back to this Lexivon hatchet that I was talking about earlier. Why was I so into this just from seeing it? One, it's $30. I guess it's a limited time deal, normally $35. Either way, quite affordable. Two, it's using a very similar manufacturing process by the looks of it to what Fiskars does with their hatchets, which is they have a fiberglass handle, which is then kind of wrapping around the hatchet head, and that's how they bond it. And everything I hear, I just said connection points are a weakness, and that does stand for like, screws, rivets, things like that. And that will be the weakness here too. If this is going to break, it's going to be where the head fixes to the handle, most likely. But these are reputed to be incredibly strong. The fiberglass composite tends to hold up very well to shock. And that same shock absorbency and shock handling lends itself to a very comfortable hand feel. So if you're someone with arthritis or sore joints, more like dainty hands, or you're just someone who cuts and chops for a long period of time and you want comfort, fiberglass composite handles are very well reputed, and that's for a good reason. As well, this head here, you see how that kind of has like a triangle shape to it, the chopping face? It's going to be amazing for splitting, very likely, and it's going to bite very well for chopping. I think this is a very versatile looking option. And it's a definite bonus, never sleep on this, that it comes with a safe looking sheath or mask, if you want to call it that. It's got a lock, and it's got a loop for like either carrying or looping into some kind of carry system. So $30, $35. This I would say like this is going to be a good choice. If you wanted to go name brand, I would definitely go for. I've been calling them Fiskars. I think that's a mixture of Fiskars and Husqvarna. So it's Fiskars. Everyone knows that. Fiskars makes like everything, including your grandma's garden shears. So my bad. Yeah, Fiskars. I barely even really have to say much. They're great. If you buy one of these, again, you're not winning in the looks department, in my opinion. Some people might like the kind of like tradesman look where you have bright colors and looks like it's for work safety. I'm very partial to more traditional looking tools. But if you don't care about that or can get beyond that, these are basically indestructible. They're going to chop, cut, do everything you'd like it to do. And honestly, the orange or the yellow, okay, I've been just like negative on it, is incredibly useful for if you set it down or lean it up against a tree and you forget where that was, you can, look around and see it. That's something about the tactical tomahawk with the green handle. Very easy to lose, including it had a matte finish on the metal, so it's not even going to really shine in the sun. Yeah. I would recommend those. I've only heard good things. I mean that. Like, if you buy this, it looks kind of like, it doesn't look like something that's built to last, but it is, and that's really nice. Now, would they even carry Husqvarna? Hickory axe. Let's see if that works. I just want hickory handled axes. They do. Okay. So here we go. This is like, if you've got the $100, if you're looking for something really good that you can maybe even pass down to your wee ones. Husqvarna, again, I barely even need to introduce them. They're super well reputed, very well made, and this one's a carpenter axe. Not always the best choice to get a carpenter axe. Those are more for profiling lumber and beams and stuff like that. But my Amazon doesn't carry a lot of Husqvarna products like Amazon Canada, so there might be more availability elsewhere. Husqvarna is great. Look into them if you want a high quality axe. And then you get the creme de la creme of handles, which is an American hickory handle. There's a reason that, like, like in a lot of things, there's kind of a preference. So people might like this, people might like that. It's all about personal preference. With axes and hatchets, you'll find that pretty much that's a bold statement, I'm sure there's exceptions, but pretty much every high quality manufacturer of axes and hatchets uses an American hickory handle. And this is a case where that's not an accident or a coincidence. It's because they know how to make good things and they use good materials to do so. American hickory has just god tier shock absorption qualities, so the hand feels amazing, and it also has it's easy to hold on to. Depending, of course, on how you oil it and finish it, but overall, they don't slip out of your hand, barring, ultra wet or even icy conditions if your axe handle gets frozen. So, American hickory handles. It's just basically, the amount of hatchet or axe you get for your $100. By the way, Council Tool is also a very good one. Council Tool, here it's kind of funny because the prices are actually, like the Husqvarna here, is cheaper. That would not be normal for most things. Council Tool kind of functions as a budget Husqvarna. That's what I would call them. So they offer really, really quality hatchets and axes at usually a more affordable price than Husqvarna. Then you don't get the name brand, and I'm not actually sure if Husqvarna has a warranty situation, but if I had to guess, it's going to be very good. Don't take my word on that. You'd have to look into it. But Scandinavian countries, kind of like Germany, tend to have incredible warranty systems or setups. They honor their product basically. Council Tool, though, I've heard good things, and you get that delicious hickory handle. And actually, this one for freaking $116 comes with a leather mask, which is really good. I said it before, but yeah, like masks, sheaths, it's a indispensable part of your axe that you carry or your hatchet that you carry. Anyone who's a woods person will know that, because an axe or a hatchet without a mask or a sheath is a massive liability. It's incredibly dangerous for you and for other people, because if you keep your axe or hatchet up well and it's not, dull as a rock, you've got this blade face that is very in the way, no matter how you hang it on yourself. If it's not covered, there's nowhere you can put it where it's not going to hurt you somehow, basically. Because even if you hang it backwards on your hip, you're going to go like to reach for something in your backpack, you come around, you can gore yourself on an exposed axe or hatchet. I just cannot overstate how important it is that you don't carry a bare axe or hatchet if you're bushcrafting, backpacking. Yeah, get a sheath, get a mask, or get one that comes with one. It's literally, it's 50% of the importance of the tool, because it's not very fun to like die in the woods, basically, and then it doesn't matter how nice your axe is if you're dead. So that that was essentially my views, my rant on, not a rant, my recommendations and my thoughts on axes and hatchets. The first thing I showed you, that tactical thing, it's a toy. Basically is what it comes down to. I said, like, if you're a contractor or a private military, that's not the situation for people. And even then, like, I can think of a very few cases where that would be useful in that profession. But like exfiltration, rescue, stuff like that, sure. But in modern situations, there's very little melee combat going on. So that was just that's even giving it too much credit. It's a toy. It's for looks, it's for fun, and it's also maybe like a wall hanger, even though I don't know, because it's not like it's like that pretty, but hey, everyone's got their tastes. Whereas the other tools, the one that looks like a Fiskars that wasn't, the council tool, the Husqvarna, the Fiskar, these are all made to use. And that doesn't always lend itself to like the most insanely cool look, but it does lend itself to being very useful and good to use. And then you'd be surprised how much that actually matters when you're out in the woods. Especially doing something laborious, like wood handling. It's a big deal. So those are my thoughts. Thank you for listening. I mean that sincerely. And I hope you have a good one. And I'll see you on the next one.